dude, and how much passive income or how much cash flow are you getting a month on it?
So it brings in $5,500 a month, and I have zero money invested into it.
Dude, let's talk about how's that possible, bro? So now, Alex, what's the ARV? What's the ARV on this building?
So we bought it for $150, and when we did the ARV, we thought it was going to be about $600. It ended up being $715.
Woo, dude, $115,000 more.
Yeah.
Dude, Alex, how do you feel when you found out that the appraisal came in at $715 instead of $600K, bro?
Oh, dude, I was so happy because we were $100,000 over budget on our rehab.
All right, dude. So Instagram family, I'm gonna shut down IG Live. Head over to YouTube. I'm gonna have Alex break down this deal, how he bought it, got no money into it, and now it's cash flowing him about $5,500 a month, right?
That's right.
All right, Instagram. I'll see you on YouTube. Okay, Alex, I'll let you take over, bro. So first off, let me do a proper introductions. For those of you who don't know Alex, who Alex is one of my partners in of our Wholesale to Million Academy, where we're changing one life at a time and where we have helped, hundreds or thousands of students closing their first deal, scaling their wholesaling business up to where they're starting to do 1 deal a month. And obviously, the ultimate end game to becoming a real estate investor is first you got to get rich, right? So the whole goal is helping you, making, $20,000, $30,000 a month from your wholesaling business. And then after that, you got to find a place to park it. Obviously, real estate. So now you got to get rich, but then how are you going to start building wealth? How are you going to pay less to Uncle Sam? All right. So Alex is going to show you guys. That's the other part of real estate. It's now that you have so much cash coming in, where do we park it? How do we buy these property correctly so that way it cash flows? All right. And then you're building long-term generation wealth. Alex, I'll let you take over, man. Let's talk about your deal, dude.
Absolutely. And like Khang said, just to piggyback on top of that, wholesaling is the best industry to get into in real estate because it teaches you how to land deals just like this, and you can cherry pick them. Everything that I did up until the point of contract is the same thing we teach inside of the academy. So it's all the same. The only thing that's different is how you do the exit strategy. So everything we teach in the academy is what you're going to hear about today, and then more.
Dude, 1,000%. Because I don't care if you're a house flipper. I don't care if you're a landlord. Like, you just love to buy and hold. But the thing in real estate is to make money is that you got to buy it right and you got to buy it low. The lower you can get the property, the lower you can buy it, dude, the more money you're going to make. All right. So most house flipper, Alex, they don't know how to, they don't know how to find deals. Right. So which means all they do is honestly being a house flipper. Like, if you got the money, it's not that hard to flip houses. I mean, it's hard to flip house, but it's not hard to get the deal because all you need to do is reach out to other wholesaler. But now that house flipper, they don't know how to find deals, so they all depending on the wholesaler, right? So now you're paying more, but imagine if you can cut out the wholesaler and being able to know how to find your own deals. And just like Alex said, you can cherry pick. Maybe you decide, hey, I want to wholesale this one, or I want to keep this one, fix and flip it, or I want to keep this one as a rental. And Alex, let's talk about this deal here, man. Why did you decide to hold on to this one? And also too is talk about like what would you make if you were to wholesale it, and all that.
Got it. Yeah. So the reason why I decided to buy this one is my primary strategy in my business in real estate is to buy right now. So I feel that you should have a main goal in your business, whether it's to wholesale, to buy, to fix and flip, whatever the case may be. Pick your primary strategy and then go all in on it. So that was my goal, is to buy as many properties and big properties, right? And so I don't have to do a bunch of deals per year. I can do a couple deals per year and I'll be happy with the lifestyle that I'm living. And so that would help support me in what I was trying to do.
Dude, Alex, I am going to go, dude, now that you mentioned that, I want all of you guys to understand that you need to focus on your own goals and your own dreams, right? Build the business around the lifestyle that you want to live. Not everybody needs to be a millionaire. Not everybody wants to wholesale hundreds of houses a year, and you don't need to. To know, Alex, Lon and I was talking yesterday in the car, and honestly, bro, I think in any states, you can live in any states, if you can just make $20,000 a month, bro, you're living a pretty comfortable life, which is $240,000 a year. And I know Uncle G said if you make 400K, you should be embarrassed. But I'm telling you, man, $20,000. So where I live, the minimum wage is about 17 bucks. And I think the average income here, right around 40,000, 45,000. If you're making dude 20,000, doesn't matter if it's in California, New York, bro, 20,000 is a pretty good, comfortable life.
Yeah, and imagine just doing 2 of those types of deals where you're making almost $1 million, and then everything else is icing on the cake. So
there you go, baby. So you don't need to do a bunch of deals. That's what I'm saying. You don't need to do a bunch of deals, right? So my whole thing is focus on profit, right? The spread of the deal, not like number of deals. Because like I'm a part of a mastermind where there are guys and gals that are doing, 10, 20, 30 deals a month, but they're profiting, $5,000 a pop. Some of them profit like $3,500 per deal. Dude, there's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of paperwork. They got a high overhead, big teams, and all of that. All right. So, if you just focus on, hey, Colin, if I just going to do 1 deal a month, 20K a pop, or just like Alex, focus on doing 1 of these deals twice a year.
That's all you got to do.
That's all you got to do. Go ahead, Alex. I'll let you take over, man.
Yeah, so this deal was in our pipeline, and we came across it actually 6 months prior to when we called the seller to make our offer. And at the time, she was asking $325 for it, and we knew it needed like $100 grand worth of work at least. And at the time, we felt that it would be worth about $550, $600. And where I was at, I was like, man, this is just not a good deal. We're really far off from where we need to be. I'm going to put them on a follow-up. So 6 months went by, and we followed back up with her. She said she still hasn't sold the property. She still wants $325. So I said, well, why don't we just call, make an offer, and see what we can come up with, and see if there's anything going on with her situation that might enable her to want to drop that price. And so just by going through the script, things that we practiced in the academy, I was able to just find out that she was going through health problems. On top of that, she hasn't managed it in the 20 years that she owned it. She just kind of let it go. It wasn't producing income. It had very high expenses, things that could have just been easily managed. And I let her know that all these things are going to add up very quickly, and it's going to cost her a lot of money if she doesn't sell it. And I offered her $200,000. At first, she said no. I was like, well, I understand, but you're going to need to put a well in, which is very risky because you got to make sure the lot is big enough, and you have to make sure that the county's okay with it. So there's a lot of risk playing into this property. And I said, I don't, whether you sell it to us or not, I want you to know this because you need to know that. And so she was like, well, does the $200,000 offer still stand? And I said, well, I don't know. I have to check with my partner. So we got her down to 150, and we put about 200,000 into the property.
Okay.
So we budgeted 100 grand, and it ended up going 100 grand over budget, and it still came out with a 365K equity.
So you guys, man, this is a humongous deal. And for some of you, man, even just doing 1 of this deal a year, dude, you could be done. So Alex, so you bought this property, all right, you got under contract for 150. If you were to wholesale it at that time, because, right, you guys, the reason why Alex is holding on to this, and he's in a position to now look into more of a buy and hold, because his active income, he's making too much money on active income, so he needs to find a place to park it. So Alex, if you were to wholesale this deal, how much would have made?
I probably would have made about 50 grand.
You probably would have made 50 G's.
Yep.
And then out of that 50 G's, you would have to pay Uncle Sam 25%.
Yes.
But you didn't need the 50K, right? No. And that's why I said, hey, if you need today's money, you wholesale. But if you rather get future money, then you hold. So I highly suggest for those of you, if you're starting out, the biggest focus is focus on wholesale. Once you're able to stack away at least $100,000 in your bank cash from wholesaling, then what you want to do is you wholesale 4 houses, and then you keep 1. That way you're building, you're getting rich and you're building wealth at the same time. All right. Because the ultimate goal is later on, because you don't want to wholesale. And 5 years go by, 10 years goes by, dude, you got nothing to show. All right. So you want to start holding on to some property, because obviously it's going to help you offset your taxes. And so you don't have to pay a bunch of money to Uncle Sam. Okay, Alex, now let's talk about how do you purchase, let's just say how do you went and purchased this property? So you buy it for 150, man. Where's that money coming from?
Yeah, absolutely. So I networked with a hard money lender, and through them, they offered me 12% and 3 points. They were actually very expensive, but they were a couple of guys that helped get me into the industry at the very beginning of my journey. And so it was kind of like me paying it back to them full circle. So I didn't mind paying the higher points, and they were very responsive. They gave me my money as soon as I got the repairs done. So for those who don't know, most hard money lenders, they will offer 100% financing, and they will offer 100% rehab. But what they don't tell you, or maybe you don't know, is you have to put that money most times out of pocket for the rehab up front, but then they reimburse you next day. Sometimes it takes them 30 days. So these are things that you're going to want to know from your lenders. And for my lender, as soon as I sent them a picture, they sent me the funds through a wire the next day. So it wasn't a big deal. And actually, I found a way around the whole system where I was no money out of pocket. And the way I did that was I got the invoice from the contractor. I got the property manager that I had. She would pay the contractor, and then she would send it on my statement at the end of the month, and I would pay her after I've already been wired the funds. So I was actually never any money out of pocket. So I kind of cheated the system a little bit.
So, Alex, so you borrow 150,000 from Harmony lender, right?
250,000 total, because we had budgeted for $100,000 rehab. Yep.
Okay. And then you mentioned that the rehab went over 100,000.
Yes. So even though after the refinance, I had no money invested because I pulled all that money back out, it did go over budget, and I did have to put 100 grand of my own money into the property. Now I could have gone through a loan adjustment with the hard money lender where they would re-loan me out another 100 grand, and then they would charge some points for that. But I didn't see the need. I didn't really need the money, and it wasn't going anywhere. So I knew I was going to get all my money back, and that's exactly what happened.
Love it. And Alex, where are you based out of, man?
This is out of Hagerstown, Maryland.
Okay, awesome. So, okay, so Alex, how many months did it took you?
It took me 12 months.
Okay. It took you 12 months to finish this, and total you have into it is how much?
$0.
Yeah, but total amount after everything's said and done.
$350.
Okay.
That's the loan amount. Yep.
So now, so after that, after the property has been rehabbed, you went back to the bank and got a loan on it for $350,000.
Yep.
So the bank appraised it for 715, you said?
715.
So if the bank appraised it for 715, dude, you could pull some money out, right? 715 times 75%.
I think it was like 170 or something I could have pulled out.
Yeah, dude. So they could have put a loan on it for you for let's just say 500K, because it said 536, but let's just say 500K, and you owe 350. Wait, you owe how much with the Harmony lender?
250.
So 250. Dude, you could have pulled out 250.
Yeah.
But instead you just pull out what, 100K?
I didn't pull out any money. So I had the hard money lender was for 250, and then I refinanced at 350 because we went 100 grand over budget. Yep. So I wanted all my money that I had invested back out, so that I would be able to come on here and say I have zero money invested in the deal. And I could have pulled out, like Khang said, around $200,000 out of that equity and put in my pocket for the next one. And I did something a little bit different. So I did those on my other deals because I wanted the extra money in the bank account for things like this if I went over budget. But instead, I kept the money in the property so it would cash flow higher. Interest rates are higher right now, so it didn't make sense to pull them out. And then on top of that, I got a line of credit on that equity that I left in. So I got a $200,000 line of credit that I can use as hard money instead of paying hard money fees and points. And so now I have an extra source of lending, basically, and I can buy multiple properties with that.
Okay, so for those of you who didn't follow, so Alex, here's what you did. So instead of pulling the money out and being, charged interest, you just said, hey, Mr. Bank, I just want to be able to take all my money I had in there, right? Which is, the 350, because 250 needs to be paid. The hard lender needs to be paid off.
Yep.
You get your $100,000 back that you had in it. So you had no money in the property. And dude, let's talk. And then what you did is you'd be like, hey, instead of giving me that extra $200 or $200,000, I would like to get a line of credit, which is also called a HELOC, a $200K on that property. So basically, you got a credit card on that property. So now instead of going to the hard money lender, so you just and instead of going to the hard money lender and paying them what, 12%?
Yep.
And then you just go ahead and you tap into your own bank, which is that 200K at what, 5% or 6%?
7.5%, 8%.
7.5%, 8%. So 50% off, cheaper than if you were gonna go to the Harmony lender, man. That is freaking smart, dude. So Alex, on the 350, man, what's the mortgage?
The mortgage is about $2,500 a month.
Okay, so the mortgage is $2,500, and you said it's a 4 units.
Yep.
So what are you getting rent per month total?
So there's 4 units, and I forgot there's a garage too. So we're renting the garage out for $400 a month.
Damn. Okay.
The two single families are 4-bed, 2 baths. So those are renting for market $1,500. And then the 2 1-bed units are renting for $1,100 per month. So my math might have been a little off, but it's somewhere around $5,500.
Damn. Okay. So $5,500 a month. So if we take 5,500 minus, 2,500, so you're pocketing about $3,000 a month on this.
Yep, minus any expenses, which the tenants pay most of those, so we're good to go.
So $3,000 a month. You got $200,000 line of credit on the property. This is what I call a home run deal. And yes, you can come across these kind of deals. But how long have you been in the game, Alex?
I've been buying properties for a little over 2 years, but I've been in the game for about 5-6 years.
Love it, man. So, Alex, I don't know, what else do you want to tell all the people about the deals, or anything you want to say? And then all of you that are watching, if you have any questions, drop in the chat.
Yeah, so and not to just toot my own horn, but these are the types of deals that I buy, and I'm very patient and I'm very picky on the type of deals. So I come across deals all the time where maybe I'll leave 5 to 10, 15 grand into the property and I don't take them down because I look for these home run deals, because they buy me the time that I need. I'll wholesale the other ones if I need to. With that being said, I was always worried about, because my goal now is to pay down the debts on these properties, not using any of my own money. So any of the extra income from the rents, I pay down the mortgage. And I was always worried, hey, if I have all this equity, if I get in a lawsuit, I'm going to be targeted for all this equity. And I talked to somebody, Dave, actually, and he said, if you wanted to pay down the mortgage to collect that cash flow, because at the end of the day, that's my goal, is cash flow, that you can put a line of credit attached to the property. And even though that you might not actually pull that money out, it's still attached as if there was a total lien amount of that amount on the property. So that way the litigators can see that and they're like, well, we're not going to go after them because there's no equity in the deal, when in fact it's completely paid off.
Woo, dude, that is smart, bro. Alex, Lon and I was just talking about this in the car, man. So Lon is kind of like she's the type that likes to pay it off, own it free and clear. And this is the question I asked Lon. I said, Lon, I understand, Alex, you have kids. So obviously, if they're paid off, you can pass it down to your kids. But I told Lon and I don't have any kids. We don't want any kids. So I told Lon, I said, Lon, so what's the point of you paying off this house? So let's just say you pay off this house and now we own it free and clear. Okay. But in the meantime, instead of taking $250,000 to pay off the house, we could have used that 250,000 to either buy more property, or we could have used that 250,000 to do whatever we want with it. Because I said, Lon, what happened if 10 years later, for whatever reason, boom, we're gone, right? We're bam, we're gone because you just don't know what happened in life, right? I said, whatever we gone. Now, all of this, you know, obviously Lon and I have a will that's put together. Everything comes down to is everything that we make, everything will go back to where it belongs, which is everything is going to go to charity. But I'm telling Lon, I say, well, instead of living good on the 250, you're paying it off. So now instead of getting, you know, $200 50 or let's just say $500 a month from the rental, now we're collecting, let's just say $1,500 a month, right? Because since we're paying them off, so our cash flow increased. So, but I told Lon, but now what happened to us is that property, right? It's going to go back to the bank or whoever it is, right? Needs to sell it, take all the profit. It goes to charity. So I told Lon, I mean, to me, I look at this, dude, it only makes sense if you have kids, right? So you want to pay it off so you can leave it for them, whatnot. But for me and Lon, I say, dude, if I were just Lon, I would just keep the 250. Just own it free and clear. Are you there, Alex?
Yeah, I'm here. There you go.
And then, you know, and then after 30 years, we'll just own it free and clear. And then I'll just keep the 250 or whatever it is and just continue to, you know, use that to grow the business instead. Yeah. But Lon is the type that just loves to pay everything off, man. But
yeah, I feel like you're one or the other, right? You either want to maximize debt or you want to maximize equity. I feel like you're either one or the other.
So, Alex, I mean, so where you're at as far as in like trying to build your real estate portfolio, man?
Yeah, so I think at the end of the day, if I could get right now, all my properties combined is about $11,000 per month in cash flow. So if I could pay down the debts on those, I mean, realistically, I could live off of $11,000. I wouldn't be doing a lot of extracurricular activities, but I would be able to pay all the necessary bills that I would need to pay just from that cash flow. So I think having a goal of 50 to 100,000 in cash flow per month is kind of where my sights are set right now.
Nice, man. And how many rentals you would have to own, Alex?
For me, I think that would be right around 50 units.
Okay. So you would need to own 50 units and they all got to be paid off or what?
Yeah, well, yeah, they would be paid off. I have 11 units right now and it's bringing in about $11,000. So I'm almost putting in $1,000 per unit. So I'm just putting that in the math, thinking about 50 units would be about where I need to be.
Nice, man. So, I mean, Alex, let's talk about what is your current lifestyle and how's your schedule looking? Because I know you're obviously an entrepreneur. I know you're a husband, a father. So you got all this, and people always talk about, you know, being able to juggle and find that work-life balance, man. And I know that you're enjoying life. So let's hear it, man.
Yeah, so you're either gonna love me or hate me for this, but I mean, when I first started, obviously we gotta grind, we gotta get in the mud, we gotta hustle, and that's how we get the knowledge, the experience, the skills, the money to do these things. But now I'm at a point in my life where I get to do the things I love, like teach every single week, and on top of that, I golf 2 times a week. I go to the gym every single day whenever I want. I can wake up whenever I want, and then in the evenings, I dedicate that to my family. And really just doing whatever I want with whoever I want, wherever I want. So that's the end goal, right? And that's kind of what Khang taught me that. So at first I wanted to take on the world. I wanted to be Grant Cardone, right? And then I was like, you know what? That doesn't actually sound that great. So I want to do whatever I want to do.
Dude, I love it, man. You know, Alex, you see, a lot of you out there think. Now, listen, if you have big ambitions, that's great, right? But I'm just saying, you know, to live a good, comfortable life, you don't need as much as you think you do. Like, you don't need to make $100,000 a month. You don't need to make $200,000 a month, right? If you have a big ambitions, that is great. Go for it, right? But I'm telling you, you know, 20,000 a month, 30,000 a month, dude, you can live a pretty good life. And a lot of times we're all caught up into, you know, seeing everyone on social media doing this big things and all that. But I can tell you this, until you live with them, until you know what's going on in their life, a lot of times you would not trade your current life for their life. I'm just saying, right? And I think that, you know, for people to change their current life, they got to either be unhappy or unsatisfied. And I say that is because when I first got into, you know, when I first got into the game, seeing like I have a mentor, he was always just super busy. He's like, his phone is ringing off and he was doing a lot of big things. And the guy do a lot of cool stuff, right? And I always thought that was success. Success was like, I got to be busy. My phone got to be blowing up. I got to be hustling on the phone, grinding every single day. I thought that was success. And, you know, own hundreds and hundreds of rentals, you know, 300-400 rentals. I thought that was success, and having office space where I can go to and have all these people, you know, work for me and all of that. And then I soon to realize that, you know, and then once I started to get into the game, and I say, shit, dude, this is not what I want. Right. I was like, it's almost like, you know, I was like, dude, this is not even what I want. Like, so Lon and I have to sit down and ask ourselves, like, the question is like, hey, we wanted to escape the J.O. the B, and Lon and I was working the mall, and we felt like we were like trapped like a bird in a cage. And then here I am still grinding 12, 13 hours a day. So I was like, so Lon, I was like, Khang, so what is the point of us making all this money? We got no time to enjoy. We have no time together still. We already sacrificed 10 years, 10 plus years already. What, are we going to sacrifice another 10 years, 20 years? Because a lot of you don't understand that the bigger your goals, the bigger your dreams, the bigger your ambitions, you just have to make more sacrifice. You know, becoming a millionaire versus becoming a billionaire is completely different. Like when you see all these guys out there, you know, also to, Alex, I don't know if you heard Thatch story, but he said, Khang, I don't want to be in my 60 and having all these, you know, having thousands of rentals with all these loans that I got to go and talk to the bank and do a report, and, you know, having people that, you know, and having all these private money lender that I have to worry about. Dude, I just want to be free. So when I look at my business, and Lon and I, when we would look at our business, it's the same thing, dude. I just want to be free. I don't want to be trapped in an office space. I want to be able to have employees that work virtual. I want to be able to work virtual. So the key I'm sharing with you here is don't look at other people's goals and dreams and make it your. No, focus on you. For some of you, dude, 10,000 a month or 20,000 a month and being able to work whenever you want would be good enough. Like Alex, like, do you have a crazy lifestyle, bro? Or Alex, with all the money you're making right now, man, how much is your monthly expense? Just like
probably right around 8,000.
8,000?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I didn't know it was that high, bro. So
I just bought a new house. That's like more than half of it, so that's why.
Oh, okay. So you including the mortgage and everything like that?
Yes.
Okay, so you're including the mortgage, the car payment, all of that.
All my cars are paid off. It's just the mortgage and living expenses, so about 8,000.
Okay, so see, for those of you make 20,000 a month, dude, 20,000 minus 8,000, you still got about 10,000, 12,000 that you can save, and you stack away 12,000 every month, dude, times 12. That's what is it? 12,000 times 12, dude. That's $144,000 a year that you can just save. So all I'm saying is, dude, 20,000. You know, when I talk about, me and Lon would talk about the number, Alex. You know, my whole thing is like, you know, if we can get the students to like making $20,000 a month from their wholesaling business, and then after that, dude, just buying, you know, 1 or 2 rentals a year. I think 9 out of 10 of you can live a pretty good life. Victory said, I wouldn't know what to do with 20K. You will know, dude. You know. Now, Alex, let's talk about the whole work-life balance, man. How long did you have to grind and hustle? Because, you know, how long do you have to grind and hustle to get to that point?
Man, it's a up and down battle throughout business, and I think anybody who's made it in business will tell you the same thing, that it's not you just take off and then it's success, right? You're gonna take off, do really well, and then things are gonna go bad, and then you're gonna do really well again, it's gonna go bad. So
Yeah.
depending on how often that happens is how well you are at learning your mistakes and not trying to repeat those mistakes. But for me, it was 2 years when I first started back to back where things were kind of like back was against the wall. I had to work a lot, try to figure things out, use that hustle muscle. And it took away a lot of time from the family. And so I realized that, hey, this is not what I want to do. And I don't want to look at my kids, and not to put anybody down who does this, because we're all starting somewhere. But I didn't want to look at my kids and be like, hey, daddy has to work. Daddy has to do this. And then Jim Rohn says nobody has to do anything. They're not putting a gun to your head and saying, hey, you have to go to work today. You're choosing to go to work. And so essentially, I was choosing to work over spending time with my family. And so I didn't want to have to do that anymore. And about my third year in is when I really learned, like, hey, I can maximize what I'm doing and just make the most of it. So I'm spending less time as possible, making more out of less. So that's what we teach in the academy. That's everything that we preach, lifestyle. And so, yeah, I mean, I encourage you to build your business around your lifestyle that you want, and not your lifestyle around your business.
Woo, I love it. Alex, Jack, wait a second here. Jack got a question for you there, Alex. How can we contact Alex for teaching or consulting, Alex?
Yeah, so I have a Instagram as well. It's just my name, Alex Harshman, and as well as YouTube. But Khang's website is actually where you can reach out to us and be a part of the academy, and you can see me in there every single week.
Awesome. So for those of you who want to join the academy and get coached by obviously me and Alex, help take your business, your wholesaling business. And if you want to convert your wholesaling now to, hey, how do I start to buying rental and then keep some? We can also teach you that inside the academy as well. Just go to coachwithkhang.com. But my whole thing is, your priority is you got to get rich first, which means you got to build up that wholesaling business first. Once you start making at least $20,000 a month, right? Once you start to do a deal a month, you stack away 100K, then we can actually talk about actually buy and hold. Hey, Alex, do they have a local RIA in Maryland anymore?
Not in Maryland. I mean, they do in Maryland, all over Maryland, but in my area, they don't. Probably about 15, 20 minutes West Virginia, they do. It's really good.
Got it. So here's what I want to know. For those of you who's watching, I would say to you is figure out what kind of life you want to live, and then try to pick a number so you have a target to hit. Now, it got to be you, all right? It's not me, not Alex. We all have a different number. And the thing is, Alex, I remember listening to, what's his name? Tony Robbins or Anthony Robbins.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that you need to pick a number, because if you don't, you will forever chase that number and you will never be completely happy, because you will never live in the moment. So for Lon and I, Alex, I was, I think I said this on my story, and I said that I don't have the FU money, but I have the FU attitude. Because for Lon and I now, anything else we make is just cherry on top. Lon and I are very happy with where we're at. We have already made a ton of sacrifice. Lon and I used to see each other only 1 or 2 hours at night. And, for us to be where we're at right now, like anything else we make is just cherry on top. So if I close another deal, great. If I don't, that's fine with me, right? And that's why I don't go to speaking event. Like, I get people reach out and say, Khang, go to speaking event. And I know if I go there, it'll help, blow up my brand, right? Which means I get more people to know me. I'll probably get more students to come into the academy. Alex, you still there?
Yeah, I just cut in. There we go.
Okay, cool. So K69, once again, man, if you want to join our Wholesale to Million Academy and get coached and trained with me, by me and Alex, we'll also get Jericho in there as well. Go to coachwithkhang.com, fill out the application. All right. But I want to let you know, dude, it's going to cost you some money. All right. So go to coachwithkhang.com, fill out the application, book a call with my team, and hopefully we are a good fit for each other. Because Alex and I, you know, we obviously started from the bottom. We both pay for mentorship. So I want you to know that if you don't have the work ethic, you don't have the drive and the ambitions, and if you're not committed or coachable, then just don't waste your money. You know, I don't want this interview to be like get rich quick. That thing is going to start turning around in 30 days. Dude, I'm telling you right now, it will take time, but we will be there to support you, to give you the training, the tools, the guidance. You get 24/7 support, and we literally hold you by your hands throughout this whole entire of your journey. And if you implement, if you execute on the information, the knowledge that we share with you, things are going to happen, dude. You're going to change your life. You know, and I know a lot of you, you know, if here's a saying that, and I don't know who said this, all right, but if you keep on doing the same thing and expect to get a different results, it ain't going to happen. So sometimes you just have to, you know, pull the trigger and just have faith, be confident in yourself, that you have to have that belief that, hey, I'm just missing some knowledge and some information. And if I were to have those information, I know I have the work ethic to make it happen. Because it really comes down to is you. You got to be put in the work. You got to take the action. But we'll give you the guidance, the support, the training, the tools, the resource, whatever you need. I mean, Andrew, dude, his accent, dude, the cat man, he freaking hustled, and he closed his first deal for like what, $288,000.
It's nuts, yeah.
And then we get two students that recently closed, one for what, 7,500, and the other one for like 78.
Yep.
Alex, anything else that you want to say, man?
Yeah, alongside what Khang was saying, is sometimes you have to lose that attachment to money. We had grown up thinking that money is everything. And just like Rich Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, he would work for free because he knew only then he would lose the attachment to money and learn the skills that are necessary to make the money outside of what he was doing for his job. But he had to lose that attachment to money. When I made my first deal, I was making $60,000 a year on the job that I was working for, or the guy I was working for at the time, and I had spent over 40 hours a week working. And whenever I made my first deal of $65,000 in 1 month, I invested more than half of that in mentorship right away. I mean, almost in the first week. And it was a really hard thing for me to do because it was the most money I'd ever made in 1 month. But I knew it was going to take me places. I knew it's the skills that I needed, and I had the hustle to do it. So if I had to put those two together, I'd be set. And look at me today. You know, I'm not doing $100 million a month, but I'm doing enough to live the lifestyle that I want. So.
And Alex, how old are you, bro?
I'm 30.
Alex is 30, and he's already living the life of his dream. Alex, but Alex had to sacrifice his 20s to really get to where he is today.
Yep. I mean,
so
I
Alex,
was in the...
Go ahead, bro.
I was just going to say, I was in the military. I got out of high school, didn't know what I wanted to do, joined the military. I was in the military for 5 years, realized that I wasn't going to be compensated for the work and the ethic that I was putting in. I mean, I got this trophy. Let me show you.
Yeah.
Being #1 in my job in the entire Air Force. I was #1 in my rank for the entire Air Force. And I was like, man, this is awesome. I'm going to get days off. I'm going to get extra pay, all these less responsibilities. And they're like, hey, good job. And then you got to come in earlier tomorrow, you know? So I was like, man, if I put this much effort into the world outside of the military in my own business, imagine where it could take me. And that's exactly what happened.
Dude, I love it, man. You know, Alex, I remember when I first hired my mentor too. Dude, it was, I paid 25 G's. And let me tell you, I was scared as shit, bro. I was like, oh my God, dude, I was so scared. But the thing is, you know, scare money ain't going to make you any money. And the person that pushes me to pull the trigger was Lon. And I was just sick and tired, bro. Like for me, dude, I don't know about you, dude, but for me, Alex, I was just sick and tired of where I was. Like Lon and I was doing okay, but we were so stuck tired of, being stuck in the mall. And the only way for us to escape and the only route that we knew at the time was real estate. And I said, dude, so am I not willing to give this up and then stuck here for the next, 3 to 5 years? Or, dude, make the investment and then start changing my life. And that's what I did. But it was hard. It was real. I'm telling you right now, it was not easy. All right. But once again, scare money ain't going to make you money. Sometimes you just have to take the leap of faith and you just have to do it. You just have to pull the trigger.
I always thought you had to be lucky to be born into riches, to be born into this awesome life, right? But leaders and winners some of them are born, that way, but a lot of people are created. So if you're not that way now, just know that with the right skills and the right guidance and the right mentorship, you can be pushed to the areas of your life that you're trying to be and trying to win in all aspects of life. So
Alex, I also forgot to ask you, man, where does this deal came from?
This deal was just a standard high equity list. So almost all of the deals that I have bought, actually all the deals that I bought have been, my biggest deals, wholesaling and buying, have all been LLC owners. So a lot of people don't even chase LLC owners. And I don't know why, because they're just as motivated as anybody else.
Okay, one last question, and then I got to bounce. Carlos said, Alex, do you read a lot of books in your upcoming?
Yes. Whenever I decided to leave my job, I left the Air Force, joined my dad, working for him, laying hardwood floors. And after that, I was like, man, I don't want to work hard for money anymore. So I just quit my job, had no income. And I was like, I'm going to read books and watch videos 8 hours a day. And I would just read real estate books, Grant Cardone, Bigger Pockets, anything to just get knowledge on the industry and just network with people every single day. So anything that relates to what you're trying to work on, there's a ton of books out there.
Love it, man. All right, guys, we're going to wrap this up. And once again, I want you guys to be clear with this. If you want to build a big business with hundreds of employees, me and Alex is probably not your guy. Like, I'm definitely not your guy. But if you just like, hey, Khang, I want to make $20,000, $30,000 a month. I just want to be free, man. I want to live the life of freedom where I get to do whatever I want, whenever I want. I get to travel, all right, do all the things I want and have a virtual business. Dude, then here we go, man. All you need to do is, once again, for those of you who's ready to join the Wholesale Community Academy, just go to coachwithkhang.com, fill out the application. Alex and I will see you inside of the academy. Alex, anything else you want to say, man?
No, I just want to say thanks so much for having me on, Khang. Thanks for everything. And I look forward to seeing as many of you in there as possible.
All right, guys, let's go get this money. Have a good one, Alex.
Take care.
Later, bro.